Welcome back to Mock Draft Monday, where you get an opportunity to mock my mock draft. And let me tell you, this one's a bit spicy. I experimented with a few different possibilities here, and there's a few big trades. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy and appreciate the content. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Prospect rankings are continuing to hit the channel. I got a big collab hopefully hitting the channel this week. That's in the works, as well as the combine free agency. That's about to start up. So it's about to be bonkers on this channel. But let's go ahead and get into the nitty gritty. I got Aiden Hutchinson going number 1, first overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do fancy Evan Neal for this pick, but as it stands right now, the offensive line free agency, it looks pretty good. So if they want to go ahead and get some veteran talent bringing in here, then they could honestly just go with the best player on their board, possibly being Aiden Hutchinson. I know it is for a lot of people, and he's just a good locker room presence to have. The dude's game will just translate to the NFL. So they go Aiden Hutchinson. Good pick here. Detroit Lions fans, I tried to trade this pick. I tried so hard. I looked at trades with the Jets, the Giants, and I just couldn't justify it. Like, being one of those other teams that's like, those picks are really valuable to them, and going through wherever their franchise is at, whether it's like in the midst of a rebuild or trying to surround their quarterback with talent, I just couldn't justify throwing picks to the wind to trade up a couple of spots for a position that's not the quarterback position. I just couldn't do it. So you stuck picking here, and I went with KT. He's one of the top prospects in this class. Might be the number 2, number 1 overall prospect, depending on who you are. I think we forget how good of a prospect KT is, how good of a player. He was among the leaders in college football in terms of the amount of times he faced double teams, and the production speaks for itself. The dude has been highly productive, so we went with KT here. Houston, Texas, another pick I tried to trade out of, but with quarterback, value in this class, kind of like, it was I just couldn't find a good reason for a team to trade up. So we went with Evan Neal, next best player on our board. If you're the Texans, you just want to infuse this talent or infuse this team with talent that's just deprived of it. Evan Neal comes in, he helps out with the just protecting whoever your franchise quarterback is. Is it a guy that's not on the roster yet? Is it Davis Mills? I don't know, but you get protection for him. I'm sure there's people out there that that could justify Kyle Hamilton as probably the pick here, and I got no problem with it. New York Jets. So you're sitting here, and let's just go ahead and build around Zach Wilson so we can give him a fair evaluation, unlike what the Dolphins have done for Tua. I'm a Dolphins fan. Fins up, baby, but they haven't really given Tua a fair shake, a fair wag there in Miami, so we're not going to do that in New York. We're not going to do that with the Jets, so I went with Charles Cross. I personally think Charles Cross is a better scheme fit than Ikem Ekwonu for the Jets, for LaFleur and that blocking scheme there, LaFleur's, excuse me. And Charles Cross, for some people, he's OT1 in this class. Like, he is good. He is really good. Maybe probably one critique you could really give him is he needs to clean up his footwork. But this guy proved that he's got a strong core. He's got a good anchor, great athletic upside. I think he'd be a good mover in that offense. So, being the Giants, we're going to sit here. We're going to go ahead and take Ikem Ekwonu. Yeah, they've said that they want to give DJ Daniel Jones a fair evaluation. That means they got to address the offensive line. So we go with the Ikem Ekwonu here. This is where I had my trade. Panther fans, rejoice. You want to trade out so bad. Or draft Malik Willis. I really don't know where your headspace is at right now. But I figured, if there's going to be a trade down, or if a team's going to trade up, it'd have to be for the quarterback position. It would have to be. And a team, because for a lot of people, man, a lot of people think Malik Willis is probably the first quarterback off the board here after just really showcasing the arm talent, the upside that he has, that there might be a team that's willing to bite. Mike Tomlin was talking to him. So I got the Steelers trading up for Malik Willis. And how I was looking at this was, listen, the Steelers, it seems like they possibly might like Malik Willis. The Panthers, they're in a terrible situation where no one really wants to trade up for that pick. So maybe the Steelers can get it for at least reasonably cheap. Maybe they pitch like maybe next year's first rounder, a couple of other picks, maybe some player exchange. Like I was going through it, and honestly, they could dump some contracts like Devin Bush. I don't know how much faith they have in him anymore. I know Steelers fans don't want to hear this, but Zach Banner, technically, you could save like $4 million on your salary cap. I was looking at players the Panthers could exchange. Looking at Pat Elflein, like honestly, I think that cat should move back to center. I don't think he's not been as good. Like he just hasn't been good since his rookie season where he played center. So, and this would give the ability to Kendrick Green to move back to guard, where that was his natural position in college. I mean, maybe even Cameron Ervin. I don't know, some sort of player exchange where the Steelers also offer up picks. So maybe they work that, but in this, the Steelers, they go ahead, they grab their guy. Can you imagine Malik Willis, Najee Harris? You got Pat Freiermuth, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, like a wealth of talent on that offense. The New York Giants, we're just staying put, and we're actually going to take the next best player on our board, being Kyle Hamilton. The question is, how far can he fall? When will a team be like, you know what? Safety value be darned. We're going to take this cat. He is that talented. He's that versatile. And I think the Giants, honestly, they might be one of the first teams to pull the trigger. Maybe make a case for the Jets. But again, I'd rather them build around Zach Wilson. So we grab Kyle Hamilton here with that pick. And then we got the Atlanta Falcons. And I've been fancying corner for this position, and I'm going to stick with it. But this time, I'm going to go with Derek Stingley. The dude's got the physical tools. He's an elite athlete. The thing is, well, the last couple of years he's been hurt. The play hasn't been up to at least the standard he kind of set his freshman year. But he's gonna test out like a freak as long as everything checks out with the ankle. He's gonna be a hot commodity in this class. It's hard to see him not go in the top 10, and he would be perfect for Dean Pease defense there. Pairing up with AJ Terrell. And then, of course, the Denver Broncos. We're trading this pick. I'm looking. I know. Aaron Rodgers. I think there's a good chance he could stay with the Packers, but easily the next favorite at number 2 to have Aaron Rodgers next season. It's the Broncos. I think currently Green Bay, they're plus 350, while the Broncos are plus 150. So we're just going to go ahead and do this trade. And I imagine that this is going to involve the Broncos giving up not only this pick here, but a pick next year. And maybe some dishing some players as well that maybe the Packers want. I think Jerry Jeudy might be a possibility since they've kind of already extended Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton. So that could be a possibility. They have some good depth on that offensive line. Maybe they pitch one of their players what was it? Natane Moody, the former Fresno State guard. So maybe they pitch him. So I'm going to go with it again. So this is the Packers pick now. They also get another first round pick. First off, Aaron Rodgers, Broncos, congratulations. I went with Devin Lloyd with Campbell as a free agent. Also, keep in mind, the guy's kind of a one-year wonder. He has been maybe an average at best player throughout his career. He comes into like just the right system and just like blows up. Do you really trust putting all that money in extending him? Maybe you just let him hit free agency and you grab Devin Lloyd with this pick. The New York Jets. I'm doing it. I'm going Treylon Burks. Listen, I think Burks is just such a great fit for the Jets. If people are comping this cat to Deebo Samuel, I think he's going to test out great at the combine. So they grab Burks, they grab Cross, bam. Immediate help for Zach Wilson. Washington football team. I thought about trading down here. Couldn't really find justification for it. That's the problem, man. You gotta justify why would a team want to trade up, and I just couldn't find any good justification. So I just went ahead and took my boy Sam Howell, dude. Y'all already know, if you haven't checked out my quarterback rankings, go check it out. Sam Howell is my number 2 in this class, more like a 1A to Malik Willis's 1B or vice versa. But reunited Sam Howell with De'Ami Brown, I think it's just perfect. I love this cat's arm talent. I'm a huge fan. Vikings fans, I know some of y'all think they might want to go offense and it would be a change of pace, but it's just, I find it so hard to justify that if a player like Derek Stingley, or in this case, Sauce, Ahmad Gardner, would be on the board with just how there's no talent in that cornerback room. Literally, it's like your best player there is probably Cameron Dantzler. It's like, oh, we could maybe re-sign Patrick Peterson. Okay, that's great. But yeah, no, it just makes too much sense to go Sauce. Matter of fact, we're here with the Cleveland Browns, and I thought long and hard about what other pick outside of receiver can we go for the Browns, and it's just, I can't justify it. The value here is just too good for a guy like Garrett Wilson. They have Donovan Peoples-Jones. Maybe they bring back Higgins. Sounds like Jarvis Landry might be out. So grabbing Garrett Wilson, giving Baker in his 5th year, essentially a prove-it year for Baker, give him no excuses and all the weapons at his disposal. Baltimore Ravens. I had to do it. I think Ravens fans will like this, though. I want Tyler Linderbaum. How far can this guy fall? Like, outside, like, I comp that. It's not a comp, but in terms of talent, he's up there with like a Quentin Nelson when you talk about just the value that he brings as an interior player in this class, the potential. Outside, like, honestly, I think it's only the size, the sub 300 that hurts him, which obviously Quentin Nelson didn't have to deal with. But I just can't see him falling too far. I can't see him falling out of the top 15. He's too good of a player. Baltimore, they love to run the football. You got to make sure then your offensive line is good if you're going to do that. So they go Tyler Linderbaum. They just invest. And then Philadelphia Eagles. I tried to, like, I really think they're going to use one of these picks to get another pick next year. And I just couldn't find a way to do it with the 15th or the 16th pick. So I got stuck picking here. So let's go ahead and just go over both picks. I went with, typically I would have liked to go Drake London, but I'm kind of like in agreement with some of y'all that, okay, maybe getting a more vertical threat. It's probably better tailored to Jalen Hurts' skill set. So Jameson Williams makes all the sense in the world. I don't think he falls out of the top 20 or top 25 because of the ACL. The guy, he's got rare start-stop ability. He's actually a much better route runner than people give him. Keep in mind, this guy's a former Ohio State transfer. And then Trent McDuffie, next corner on my board. I think he's the only other corner in this class that's probably worth a top 15 to top 20 pick. The dude's a great athlete. He would be going to a very zone-heavy defense there for the Eagles, which is great. That's where he came. That's what he came from in Washington, and the dude knows how to play zone well. So they go Trent McDuffie. Chargers, a little change of pace here with Mike Williams being a free agent. I think Drake London would be a fabulous pick. You might be like, well, we got some receivers in place there. Yeah, but I mean, you don't have a receiver with Mike Williams gone. You don't really have that size. So grabbing Drake London, you get Keenan Allen, you got Josh Palmer, guys that all have extensive slot experience, but they could also play on the outside. So really, can you imagine the mismatches you could form just with that trio? Dude, Herbert would be in heaven. He would be in heaven, RIP. So, New Orleans Saints. This was another place I tried to trade down, but couldn't really justify it. So with the Saints, I think they could go. They could go with a quarterback here, get them on a cheap deal since their cap space might not be ideal. Though they do maneuver the cap extremely well. It's going to be a bit harder this year. So I think getting a quarterback on a rookie deal, because I don't think they're going to be. When I was talking to Alex from Hail Mary Sports, and I was like, because I've been like, you know what? I think Jameis Winston will return to the Saints. But then Sean Payton no longer being there might be a big Well, no, I don't want to return now. No, I'm not going to go back there. Sean Payton was one of the big reasons why I decided to join the Saints. So I don't think that might necessarily be an option. So I went with I thought about it. I was stuck between Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral, and Kenny Pickett, and y'all know how I feel about Kenny Pickett. But still, I think he's a guy that's likely to go in the first round. At least what it sounds like from rumors, the rumor mill. But I went with Desmond Ridder. Listen, he was the best quarterback on his team that whole week between Carson Strong and Kenny Pickett. I think he displayed probably the best arm among those guys. Carson Strong was pretty close though, but Carson Strong wasn't his usual self there at the combine. But you got the the mobility, the plus athleticism, guy that it showed he is a quick processor, and he was easily the best, I think, the best player in the Senior Bowl game. So going with Desmond Ridder. Can't wait to see the comment section. Eagles, again, couldn't pitch this pick, so we just went ahead, kept it. I went with Jermaine Johnson. He's a guy that I think is pro-ready. Might not have the upside of guys like David Ajabo or Travon Walker, but you kind of know what he is. He's going to be a solid NFL player for years to come, and I think he could pump out a few all-pro years while he's there. So grabbing some edge talent. You got Johnson. We grabbed Williams, and we grabbed Trent McDuffie. Solid haul for the Eagles. So this is the Panthers pick. Panthers, we traded down, and you know what? We got you some offensive line help in the form of Kenyon Green. I think he could play tackle in the NFL. I really believe it. I think this guy's got great movement skills. Worst case scenario, you're getting probably an all-pro guard. Like, this cat is exceptionally good, and I think being extremely slept on in this draft class. Now, we got the Patriots with the next pick, but I know, we all know the Patriots trade down. So who would want to trade up? I don't know. Maybe a team that already said, yeah, we're kind of done with Carson Wentz. So in this, I have the Colts traded a second and a third. Third could be this year or next year. Is what it is. I don't know. You let me know. But a Colts team that has talent and I think is ready to compete. We traded up and I grabbed Kenny freaking Pickett. Traded up for Kenny Pickett. Listen, Frank Wright. What he wants, what he needs is a guy that can be smart with the football and could see the field just at the next level. Carson Wentz was just having that trouble. Kenny Pickett, in all honesty, I think he sees the field better than any of the other quarterbacks in this class. Obviously, there's concerns with the arm strength, with the hand size, but if he's a guy that can that could actually look and just see the field well, not make costly turnovers, and kind of just ride the coattails of Jonathan Taylor and a great offensive line, then that Colts offense, watch out. So again, I said this one was going to be spicy, so I can't wait to see the comment section. And then the Las Vegas Raiders, receiver feels a bit tiresome, and then picking here for the Raiders, and we're looking at Chris Olave, and I really like the Chris Olave pick a ton. But maybe we go in a different direction with Josh McDaniels there. Maybe they're able to get a high-priced free agent and receiver like a Devontae Adams. Or maybe he gets slapped with the franchise tag. That's also quite a possibility. So I went with Zion Johnson, a guy that you could have play left guard, you could have play center. I'm going to say it. I think he's an immediate upgrade over both. You have Denzel Good and Andre James. I think regardless, whatever position Johnson ends up playing, I think he's an upgrade over either of those guys. He's pro ready. So improve that offensive line. We do it with Zion Johnson. And then the Arizona Cardinals, Chandler Jones. He's a free agent. Let's grab Travon Walker, a guy with freaky physical tools. He's a bit unpolished as a pass rusher, but a lot of people are competent to Rashawn Gary in this class, and I could see why. So yeah, we went with that. We went with that. I don't know what more to say with that one. Uh, uh, David Ojabo was a thought here, but I kind of wanted to go. I wanted someone more physical if I was going to go with edge. So that's why I chose not to go with Ojabo. So let that be known. And then, and I didn't want to even fancy any Kyler Murray trades. Let's wait on that one. I think he's going to be a Cardinal next season. Dallas Cowboys, I just couldn't pass up on George Karlaftis. Like, how far can this cat fall? Like, his game's going to translate well to the NFL. I think he's going to show at the combine that he's explosive. The NFL might not like his bend. They might not like his arm length. But at the end of the day, he's just going to translate well. And the Cowboys, they've had a problem, especially when DeMarcus Lawrence is not healthy. They've had a problem finding, like, a consistent edge. Like, and you also got Randy Gregory as a free agent. And I know y'all like bringing Micah. Like, I thought about Nakobe Dean here because I think Dean could fall because of the size. I don't know this far, but honestly, it could happen. But you know what? At the end of the day, I was like, you know what? George Karlaftis, guy that could play inside, that he could play on the outside. He's kind of that base 3 or a base 4-3 guy. So I went with him there. And it's great value. He's a guy that I think sits inside my top 10 on my big board. Yeah, he sits inside my top 10, so this is just tremendous value. The Buffalo Bills, I got them a big space eater because they love a nice big space eater there in the middle. But let's get one that actually could defend the run well. So we grabbed Jordan Davis, another guy where it's his projected where he goes in the draft. It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough. I think he probably sneaks in the first round, but how high will he go? That's the question. Tennessee Titans. We gotta make sure that offensive line stays good for the future. We know what the Titans are about. They're about Derrick Henry and running the ball effectively. Listen, go ahead, grab yourself Trevor Penning, a guy who, at least initially, he's gonna be a great run blocker. He really is. He needs to develop as a pass protector, whether you want to start him at the guard or maybe right tackle. Maybe he's your left tackle heir apparent because he's kind of like an unpolished Taylor Lewan. That's probably the best comp I could give him. So we go with him here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is probably the hottest take of the whole draft. There's a trade. Yes, there is. So I was looking at Russell Wilson trade rumors, right? Because honestly, I don't see why Russell Wilson. Why does Russ want to stay in Seattle? Do you think that team's winning anytime soon? What, you're a defensive away from winning? I don't think so. You are literally the 4th best team in your division. That's right. Cardinals, Rams, Niners. I think they're all better teams. I don't know why they decided to retain Pete Carroll. It really feels like this team is kind of about to just rebuild, about to blow it up. So I think a trade with the Buccaneers kind of makes sense. And I looked through trade scenarios. I don't love this one. This one was like a big player swap. Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson, and Carlos Dunlap for Kyle Trask, Cameron Brate, Tyler Johnson, Jordan Whitehead, and then multiple first and second round picks. I kind of agree it's going to take like multiple first and second, but it makes sense that the Bucs would want Tyler Lockett, get a separator, an elite route runner, but you would expect a receiver in return. You get Tyler Johnson, and it's like, okay. I mean, that guy's still kind of a bit of a project. You're waiting for him to like break out, and I really think he can. Like, I like Tyler Johnson a lot, but like still, like you're kind of like just shedding some big contracts, like Chris Carson. That's just, when's that guy healthy? You know, Carlos Dunlap's an older player, though still a very productive player. I mean, I honestly think they could probably pitch. You could pitch JPP. Because they really got, Tryon's kind of the next guy up. Really thinking what other areas. Like, I was thinking about maybe the corner position, but I don't think so. Unless they want to part ways with Jameel Dean, and which I don't think that'll happen. Jameel Dean's excellent. Maybe a Sean Murphy Bunnin, but I don't know. This is the trade they got listed out, I think. And actually, the Buccaneers, they're currently favorites for if a trade goes down. They're 7-2 favorites to land Russell Wilson. So the Bucs, you get Russell Wilson. Seahawks, you get a pick. You get a pick in this mock. So we went with David Ojabo. Listen, if you're pitching Russell Wilson, you're in the midst of a rebuild. That's just is what it is. Let's go ahead and get a player that might not really translate until year 2 or year 3. But that's the thing. Ojabo, it's going to be wild wherever he goes. I've seen him in the top 10. I've seen him at the end of the first round. It really depends on how you view what he can become. So with a team like the Seahawks, if you're pitching Russell Wilson, you're in a rebuild. So getting a guy like Ojabo makes a ton of sense in the world. Green Bay Packers next pick. I was thinking edge. Didn't really like the offensive line options here. Like Bernhard Raimann was definitely a thought. I ended up going with Devontae Wyatt. Like him playing next to just Kenny Clark is just sexy. This is my last and final trade. I had the Dolphins trade down because listen, I didn't really like where I was at with the Dolphins. Like I wasn't that satisfied. Maybe we could trade down and get a few extra picks. And I thought, Nakobe Dean's still on the board. Maybe a team like the Detroit Lions who, hey, maybe we trade up and we just because in this case, the trade was the Dolphins and the Lions. They just swap picks. They swap first round picks and they swap third round picks, which there's just like a 4 pick difference there. And then the Lions also pitch a 6th or 7th. I can't remember. I think it was a 6. So really, you're not losing much if you're the Detroit Lions, and if you're the Dolphins, you get a higher third round pick and you get an extra 6th rounder that can maybe be used later, maybe to bring in some inexpensive veteran. But yeah, Nakobe Dean going to the Lions, you get him for almost dirt cheap. And then I like this pick for the Kansas City Chiefs because listen, this is defense. This pick is defense. Chris Olave, it was a thought, but this pick is defense. Question is, do we want to go with an Andrew Booth? Because I did that last draft because they have some free agents there in Ward and the Honey Badger. That also prompted, maybe Daxton Hill. But I really think they have to go. They should go edge. You can't trust Frank Clark. Melvin Ingram, he's an older player. Despite how he performed last year, also he's a free agent, but he is also an older player. You can't expect him to perform to that level once again. So a guy who fits Spagnola's size requirements for I like bigger athletic guys who I think is going to pop off at the combine. Matter of fact, he popped off during the Senior Bowl. We're going to go with Boyo Mafe, a guy that I haven't had in my first round yet, and to me, he's a top 50 prospect. He matches what Spag likes in his defense, and he's just going to test incredibly at the combine. Like he honestly might project himself into the first round with his combine performance. Cincinnati Bengals, listen, I don't know. We're going Bernhard Raimann. I think immediately he could probably play either the right tackle, either the tackle spots, depending, because Jonah Williams could play either side, or he could play one of the guard spots. You need help on the offensive line. It's apparent. Raimann is actually an excellent scheme fit for Zach Taylor and his outside zone blocking scheme. It's a good fit. I think he goes in the first round. I think he's a little more pro-ready than what people think. And then my Miami Dolphins, we trade down and essentially get the player I was going to pick here in Chris Olave. I wanted to go receiver. Chris Olave just ended up falling here. And yeah, we get a very skilled route runner with some legit burners to play with Devontae Parker and Jalen Waddle. Just grab him to him more help because I really think the Dolphins, they're going to really address offensive line free agency. So if a receiver falls to him, then that's great. We were able to trade down too because I really didn't believe Kansas City was going to go receiver. Didn't believe the Bengals were. And it works out for both us and the Lions. So that is my mock, man. I really think this one is going to be interesting. I'm not going to lie. I really dig the Boyo Mafe pick. Maybe a guy like DeMarvin Leal gets back into the first round talk with a strong performance also at the combine. I don't know. Seahawk fans, they always get so mad with the Russell Wilson trade talk. He doesn't want to leave Seattle. Why does he want to stay? He likes it here. Cool. I guess he's going to have to like losing for the remaining part of his career, or he could go to a team like the Bucs, lift that trade clause. He's like, oh, that team could win now. I saw what Brady did just past 2 seasons. They got a lot of talent. Yeah, no, let's do that. So I think that's an interesting prospect there. I kind of want to play with that because I didn't even know the Bucs were a legit contender. So apparently they were talking during the Senior Bowl, because that's where teams talk. Senior Bowl and then the Combine. That's where all these rumors stem from, because teams get to talk in person. But yeah, Karlaftis, I feel like I did him dirty. It does not feel like he's going to go this low. It just kind of fell that way. Colts fans, hate me if you want, man. Hate me if you want. But getting a guy that could start now, that could read the field well, because honestly, I think he reads the field better than any of the other quarterbacks in this class. Again, I just have hesitancy. Like, y'all already know my problems with Kenny Pickett. The Bengals, Steelers trade, that one's going to be an interesting one in the comment section. But overall, I thought this was a solid mock. It was a change of pace, a lot of different picks here and there. So let me know in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead and do that YouTube thing as always. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.